This is KUTV Primetime News with Irene Mwangi.
Welcome back. As we promised, it is now time for our discussion tonight, looking deeply into the 2020 KCSC results. And joining us tonight is Dr. Hamisi Babusa, who is from the School of Education here in Kenyatta University, Department of Education, Communication and Technology. Many thanks indeed, Dr. Babusa, for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
All right. Now, looking into the 2020 KCSC results, what do you make of that particular examination and the process altogether, given that this particular caliber of candidates have performed better as compared to their counterparts, despite the challenges they faced in this particular education calendar?
Yes, the challenges were there, but I think the candidates maybe made an effort because they knew that now they are struggling. You know, sometimes when you get challenges, there are those people who perform better in challenges.
All right, put your microphone close to you.
There are others who, you know, when things are relaxed,
Yeah.
you may tend to also relax.
That's a bit,
you know, the proverb, the saying that says that when the tough gets going, when the going
Gets tough,
the tough
gets going.
So I think we can use that because sometimes there are those who perform during difficulties and challenges. They perform better. In fact, during challenges, that's when you'll see some people performing better and others failing, and others, they perform better when during normal times.
All right.
So I think because of that, maybe the students struggled with the online learning and a lot of challenges, and in that they ended up performing better.
Right.
And also there was a lot of also stress and hard working on the teachers and also the markers.
All right. Now, looking into the marking process, and now that you have mentioned the issue of marking, it was marked within a period of 16 days, something that has never been done before.
Yes.
And it was expected that this particular marking will be a bit slow due to the issues that we are facing in the country right now.
Yes.
Do you think the marking being done in a period of 16 days might affect the quality of marking, since in the KCPE results, we saw the private association of schools raise an alarm? Yeah.
The days, the number of days for marking, I don't think it affects much because it depends on the manpower, how many markers were there.
Yeah.
You can even mark even in 1 week.
All right.
It depends now. Did you get maybe 1,000 markers, 10,000? You get my point?
Yeah,
So the number of days doesn't matter. It depends now. If they have few markers, it means more days.
Yeah.
But if they had enough personnel, so I think this time they got enough personnel so that the marking can go faster, and the reason is they want to catch up. You know, the term days have been affected by the COVID-19, so they want to catch up with things, so they have to rush everything so that to catch up and maybe things go to normal again after a few sessions.
All right, but now the issue has been, and when you look into the KCPE and the KCSC results, the private institution have complained that their schools have lagged behind as compared to the other years, and therefore they feel that their stakeholders have not been put on the forefront when it comes to the marking, the analyzing and all of that. From where you sit, do you think maybe the private institution are sort of, being pulled backwards in all this particular issue altogether?
I think there was the issue of moderation, which was mentioned. But I don't think that the private schools were pulled back intentionally. I don't think something like that can happen.
Right.
I think the marking was fair. But to me, schools should not fight for marks per se.
Okay.
How many A's you are getting, how many B's. But let's sit down and look at these candidates and see how much education do they have right now? Yes. Are they educated? Do they have knowledge in their heads? Or they are just passing the exam, getting A's, and then
that's it.
You are getting my point?
Yeah, I get your
point. So really, you should not fight for fighting for A's, P's, that my school should get this number. We should not really. Let's look at the kids really getting educated.
All right.
Do they have the knowledge to face the world or to come to the university and square it out with the others? So, and then the other issue again, when we are looking at these marks, there's one important issue. Do we have all the schools in one? Do we have a flat competing?
Oh, a fair level ground.
Yes, a fair
for all
level
of
of
them.
ground,
Okay.
which you may not find again. So you're getting my point, eh?
Yeah.
Let's say if there's a school in the village, can it square it off with a premier school in
the
Nairobi?
city, yeah.
Yes, in the city. Can you get it? So the level ground. So that's why we should not fight much for those. And then when we are doing those marking, I'm just hoping that the moderation was done so that those from the villages,
Marginalized areas,
somehow marginalized areas, they are given the benefit of doubt. Because also there, they are bright. Maybe it's the facilities and the environment. It's not conducive for them.
All right.
So things like those,
all
yes.
right.
So that's my worry. And then the other issue which I've noted, I was look at the candidates. Well, let's go 4 years back. Let's look at those candidates who did KCPE,
All right, in
who have
2016.
now done KCSE.
SE.
Where are those, the top performers in the KCPE? Where are they right now? They are not there.
Yeah, they're
the
not.
top performers for KCSE is another crop completely. So that means there's something there.
That's
Somehow
still,
it's not really connecting. So we need to
Doesn't
connect.
add up.
Yes, we need to connect those dots. Where are those? What happened? Where are they? Why did they disappear after
right.
performing and leading there? Because we are expecting at least if they perform well,
They were
the
brought.
same environment, they are given this. Then we see a big number again coming. But why
The shift, some sort of a shift
so a
there.
research should be done. Why do the performers of KCPE
Not be...
they go into oblivion after that? They are never seen again when it comes to KCSE.
Right.
If you count the years, like those who performed right in, this year, let's count 4 years again.
And
Because
see,
before
and
one,
track.
Can we, then we follow them, we see what
track.
happened. We do a research, what happened, so that now using those findings, now we can remedy the system and say, oh, this happened.
Okay.
So if you want performing, let's
We
do
should look
the
at this.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Really, it's really a concern, given that it is expected if they performed better in 2016, they were quite bright,
Yes.
and it is the same brain, the same
What
students.
happened?
What happened there?
Yes, what happened?
That is a gap that, of course, the Minister of Education should look into.
Yes.
Now, looking into the issue of 100% school transition, we had 143,000, close to 143,000 students who got C+ and above. That means they will join
the
universities.
Yes, yes.
Then we have the other 600,000 or so who will now be joining TVET.
Yes.
Now, looking into our education system and how we are pushing the issue of 100% school transition, will that really be possible?
In fact, for me, I support that.
Okay.
I support the 100%. You know, the reason is, let us look for the marks that very much, as I said. Let's look at and when they come to the university, that's where now you'll discover, now when the rubber hits the road now, you'll discover now who and what. You get my point?
Yeah.
So I support the 100% transition, but the government now, on that 100%, they should consider the resources in the universities.
Sure.
The resources means lecture halls, number of lectures.
The institutions themselves.
Yes, the institutions themselves, hostels where the students will go and learn. So all this should take into consideration, should be factored in before now to make sure that everything is at par. And then if they are transitioning with this COVID-19 period again, you know, there's that social distancing again. So a lot of problems. So the semesters may talk. And of the online learning, equip the institutions for online learning so that the universities can cover much and no student is left behind or something like that. To equip the universities and also equip the learners themselves.
All right.
And the lecturers.
But do you think, as a Minister of Education, we have sort of failed in terms of propagating the issue of joining TVETs, because a large chunk of these candidates will be joining the TVET institution, and therefore there have been the stereotype that if you do not join university, if you don't join, say, University of Nairobi, you are done.
You are done. Yeah, which is, to me, that's why I'm saying there's that mentality which is very wrong. Because, you know, there's, if you look at the world right now, it's being run by people who have hands-on skills.
Skills, yeah.
Those who are building the roads, are building houses, making, manufacturing cars.
Yeah.
You see, so we need those, and that's the world now. So, and the market is very wide. And you know, for that field, the TVET, if, let's say, Alana goes, you know, let's leave this stereotyping. If you go there, you can succeed. You can even end up succeeding and even employing your classmate who got an A
and went to the
university, did a degree. You can go back and say, hey, come, you'll be my manager here.
Yeah.
Yes. But I don't know, we should remove that stereotyping thing that everybody has to have a degree for you to succeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Now let's focus on the issue of the academic calendar. It is really a crisis. The Minister of Education is talking about having a smooth flow come 2023. What are the sacrifices that should be made to ensure that we fill this gap, to ensure we have the academic calendar not much disrupted as it is?
You know, right now you cannot tell how the disruption will go, but the learners, the parents should be ready. Like, you should have short holidays. The holidays will be cut or removed completely sometimes. So that means that the parents have to go and have deep pockets after one term is over. They have to be ready for the next time without relaxing, no holidays, no nothing. Then the other issue again, I think it will be better if the government also invest heavily on online. Boost the online learning. If in case things don't go well with the COVID, if the COVID is still there with us, they think of investing on online learning, investing and seeing what can happen, what will be the impact of that, so that the semester goes well. But otherwise, if everything goes well and 2023 we are back to the same calendar, then, and we are hoping that there will be no other interruptions. Then it means that the semester that you can see them, the term dates being squeezed. Others are shorter, and then a lot of confusion. Others are coming to school, others are going home. So there will be a lot of confusion until you catch up again. And then very odd dates. You can see usually all expect that at the end of the year, let's say at the end of 2020, 2021. The learners are transitioning to the next level. But now you can see
there's a lot of
confusion. So there should be a lot of sacrifices among the learners, the parents, the teachers, and the government to make sure these terms, they just go jumbled up like that until when they catch up.
All right. And you are here in Kenyatta University. There's been the issue of online learning. In higher learning institutions themselves only, are they a success? Are we witnessing a success, or is it something that we talk about every now and then?
Yeah, I think for the higher learning, somehow there is some success in the institutions. Most of the institutions succeeded. The only challenge, I think, is most students who study in public universities, most of them usually come from poor background. So somehow there's that challenge of facilities, internet. But apart from that, mostly it was somehow a success. Most institutions did the online, and it was somehow a success. Maybe 60-70% there.
All right.
Yes.
Now, our very own Professor Fatuma Chege has been appointed, and today he was sworn in.
Yes, I say congratulations to her.
He is the Principal Secretary, State Department of Curriculum Reforms.
Yes.
It is a new system, the CBSE system.
The CBSE, yes.
And the transition has happened at a time where we're having a pandemic. So, of course, it is some sort of confusion having a new system altogether.
Yes.
Now, looking into the CBSE system, the 2633 system, do you advocate for it? Are you seeing a success in it, given the disruptions we are anticipating, including the referendum and the elections?
Yes, for me, I look at the CBSE and I see it as a success. You know the reason? If you compare to the 844, the 844, sorry to say this, you see the learners are running around saying, oh, I got an A, I want to. But when you come to the CBSE, there'll be no shouting or A's or whatever. There's that skill which the kid will get from pre-primary, lower grades, grade 1. So the skills will be, factored in. By the time the learner has advanced into the education, the learner will be ready. In fact, the learner will make a decision early enough. He will know the field where
They want
he's.
to factor
Yes.
this small wastage of time.
Yes.
There's no wastage of
Rather
time.
than this one where you have to get an A and then so many, but this one you follow your
own
your
path.
field early enough so that there's no confusion. So you don't get, for example, somebody who is good in poetry and then you take him to do sciences, or somebody who is good in maths, then you tell him to go and do drama.
Yeah.
You get my point?
Yeah.
So the learners, their talents, their field will be identified early enough. And then I like the style, the way, the skills that the learners are going to learn in the CBC. You look the way, the methodologies, the facilities. So for me, it's going to be a success, even with all the COVID-19 and the other challenges. This one will be a success.
All right, but
I believe in that.
the thing that has been an issue is the issue of resources.
Yes.
It is a system of education that requires a lot of resources, not only from the government, but also from the parents.
Yes.
So
very true.
far, has it been good, looking into how they have adapted to the new system?
Yeah, for me, in fact, I have 2 kids who are in the CBC,
All right.
and I can see they're doing well. It's just that now for the CBC, unlike the 844, the parent is also involved. It's like the parent is also a core teacher.
Yeah, sure.
So you're supposed to participate. Yes, the teacher will give an assignment to the learner, and in that assignment it will say, you and your parent, you'll be assisted by your parent. So it means the parent is also a core teacher. So you're supposed to sit down. That's the good thing with the CBC. It means that the parent is also following up and also building up his or. So you have an upper hand of, unlike the 844 where the learners are just with the teachers when they come home, they're just revising. No, here the parent is also in touch and involved in the development of the child. Yes.
All right. Now, looking into the issue of CBC and the 844 system, we're having them in a span of 1 year. Concurrently, that is 2021, 2022.
Yes.
There's a lot of balance required in the two systems of education.
Yes.
And the parents and the teachers as well as the students are being given a lot of pressure. What can be done to alleviate this particular pressure, especially to the children, which might affect their education?
What can be done, maybe given the holidays especially.
All right.
And also the other issue again, maybe the teachers can go a bit slow.
But the time is so little.
Yeah, the time is little. No, okay, you find a way, because if there's so much stress, the kids can
shut down.
Yes, can shut down. So they have to find a way of even changing the methodology.
Maybe.
Yes, changing even the methodology so that the student can just pass from one stage to another without much stress. Maybe especially the examination part. Yes, they find a way of just doing the exam, testing those skills and so on, as easy as that.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, now because we're pressed on time, what can be your final words, especially to the Minister of Education, now that we are done with the 2020 KCSC results? We are looking into them joining universities. Now this is done and dusted.
Yes.
What can be your final words on what we're expecting next in the next level?
Yes, what we expect is that the ministry now should beef up, as I said, the resources in the institutions, like the TVETA institutions, the higher learning institutions, so that when the learners join the universities and the TVETAs, there are no problems. We invest in those facilities, lecture halls, hostels, learning facilities, offices, and so on. So beef up on those, and then we also encourage, because we are still in the COVID-19, we see how also the government can also invest on the e-learning. All right. That part, yes, just so that it supplements the face-to-face learning, so that the institutions don't waste time until the COVID goes away, because it's still here with us, and sometimes lockdowns may happen again, or something like that. So you see that the government should find a way of investing and supporting the learning institutions, investing much more in this open, the distance learning or online learning and so on.
All right.
Yes, and equipping also the lecturers, the teachers, and so on, and to go a big way in making sure that the
compensates time.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Mr. Babuso. Of course, you have clearly elaborated that it is concerted effort in this issue of ensuring that you have a smooth flow when it comes to the academic calendar.
Thank you very much.
All right. That has been Dr. Missy Babusa from the School of Education here in Kenyatta University, Department of Education, Communication and Technology, giving us a perspective concerning the 2020 KCSE results and what next. We are taking a short break, but we'll be back in a moment.